You know when you are watching a fight expecting epic moments, and out of nowhere, something so weird or embarrassing happens that you get full secondhand shame. Well, in martial arts that happens more than it seems. From bizarre entrances to strikes that went very wrong, there are a lot of unusual situations that have already happened in the rings, and that is exactly what you are going to see here today. So already hit the like button, click down there on the subscribe button, and let's go. Imagine the pressure. You are a UFC champion, you have a huge fight booked, and suddenly you realize that you still have to lose a good amount of weight to hit the official limit. That was exactly the struggle that Miesha Tate went through before UFC 200. She had to get to the famous 61.2 kilos, and with little time left before the end of the official weigh-in window, there were still some stubborn kilos there. Not pleasant at all, right? She spent the final hours in that desperation mode every fighter knows, cutting water, sweating down to her soul, and checking the scale every second. And things only got more tense when she arrived practically at the last minute. 2 minutes late to be more exact, and had to appeal to the classic towel trick. Clothes? Forget it. She took everything off. It was just skin, determination, and fear of losing the belt without even stepping into the octagon.
134 and a half.
When she finally stepped onto the scale, everyone held their breath, and then came the relief. She weighed in half a kilo under the limit. Half a kilo, it was way too close. If she had not made it, the fight against Amanda Nunes would be worth less, and she would still lose the belt. Can you imagine the drama? According to her, it was rough, but it is part of the game. Her team, on the other hand, liked the new morning weigh-in system, which gives more time to rehydrate and get ready. In the end, everything worked out, but it was tension down to the last gram. This is one of those MMA moments that nobody forgets, but not for the reasons fighters dream of. Back in 2015, during a martial arts event in West Virginia in the United States, the fighter Travis Wolford lived a nightmare live. And not just because of the loss. During the fight, he ended up going through a very, let's say, biological situation. After being submitted, the guy simply had an accident right there on the mat, and everything was recorded so the internet would never let it die. The curious and tragic detail is that the problem seems to have started before the fight. According to people from the event, Travis had gone in hard on a big plate of chili at a local festival. The combination spicy food plus intense fight plus pressure ended up creating a scenario that nobody wanted to see in that gym. Result, the scene went viral quickly. The mat was marked literally, and the fighter even got a nickname that, honestly, better not repeat. And as bizarre as it may sound, this was not a unique case in the fighting world. A few years later, in 2017, a female UFC fighter also ended up going through the same kind of situation during an attempted submission defense. The difference? She took it all in stride and even joked about what happened on social media. In the end, things got so serious that the New York State Athletic Commission created a rule. If it happens again, the fighter loses immediately by medical stoppage. Better to prevent it than to need a cleaning crew, right? Imagine training for years, traveling to an international championship, stepping onto the mat with your adrenaline through the roof, and being eliminated before that because of a silly detail. That was exactly what happened to the Portuguese judoka Henri Egutidze during the Grand Slam of Baku in Azerbaijan. The guy came in fully prepared but forgot one basic detail, taking the phone out of the pocket of his gi. Yes, that is right, a phone on the mat. As soon as the fight started, he and his opponent moved around and suddenly plop, the phone fell onto the floor. Everyone was left not understanding anything. The fight stopped. The referee saw the scene and instead of just telling him to put the phone away and continue, decided to disqualify the Portuguese. End of fight in less than 13 seconds. It was not even a strike, it was technology sabotaging the athletes. The most curious thing is that this is not the first time something like this has happened. In jiu-jitsu, for example, there have already been very similar cases. There was an athlete who noticed the phone in the middle of the match, handed it to the referee, and continued the fight normally without punishment. Even the legendary Rodolfo Vieira went through something like that and took it in stride when his phone fell out in the middle of an event. In judo, however, the rule is clear. If you come in with a forbidden object, goodbye. The result? A video that went around the world and an important lesson for athletes. Before competing, check your GI, your belt, and your pocket, because nobody wants to become a meme because of a phone lost in the fight. Now, let's go to a scene that looks straight out of a video game or a movie, but really happened in the fighting world. Imagine two fighters trading punches with everything they have, that tense atmosphere, the crowd going crazy, and suddenly both of them pass out at the same time. Yes, a real official double knockout. Something so rare that even those who have followed fights for years are left open-mouthed. Video. The two guys were there in the center of the ring, testing their toughness, going into an all-out brawl. That moment when nobody wants to back down. Each one throws a bomb at the same time, and, as if they had planned it, both land clean. The result? They both drop out cold, practically in slow motion, just like one of those internet clips you watch 1,000 times to understand if it is edited. In the end, it is proof that fighting is unpredictable. Sometimes it does not matter what the strategy, the strength, or the technique is. Fate decides to play around and drops both at the same time. A historic and rare scene, one of those that we see only a few times in life. The stare down before a boxing match is usually that tense moment, full of pressure, with each athlete trying to impose respect and get into the other's head. But in 2017, during the promotion of a fight in Norway, this tradition got a twist that nobody expected. Michaela Loren, known for using trash talk and psychological strategies, decided to innovate. Instead of just staring seriously at Cecilia Brækhus, she simply stepped forward and kissed her rival on the mouth. For a few seconds, the world seemed to freeze. Brækhus was surprised, gave a light slap on Lauren's face, more as a reflex than out of anger, and then burst out laughing along with everyone around. There was no bad blood. It did not become a brawl. It turned into one of those bizarre and funny moments that go viral instantly. Later on, with the vibe lighter, Brækhus even joked that it had been a long time since she had received a kiss like that. But no amount of trash talk was enough to hold back the champion when the bell rang. When it was time to fight, Brækhus showed why she was considered one of the greatest names in women's boxing. She controlled the fight calmly, kept her dominant posture, and finished everything in the 6th round with a technical knockout, keeping her undefeated record intact. The episode went down in history as one of the most unexpected stare downs in the sport. It became a meme, became a hot topic on social media, and proved that sometimes, even an event as tense as a world title fight can have a moment totally off script. The world of martial arts has already seen a lot of controversy, but the story involving the South Korean fighter Park Dae-sung became a serious topic inside and outside the sport. Park, who was one of the big names of Road FC with an almost perfect record between 2013 and 2017, ended up at the center of a huge controversy after an episode in 2016. At the time, after winning a fight, he posed for photos with the ring girl, but put his hands on her waist and pulled the model close to him. It happened twice, and the woman's uncomfortable expression left a lot of people upset. Sometime later, when the accusations gained strength on social media, the case exploded. While part of the MMA community called for an investigation and empathy with the supposed victim, especially because the video clearly shows her discomfort, another part came out defending the fighter, saying that he had always been dedicated and asking that the presumption of innocence be respected. The reaction was so big that Park completely changed his behavior at the next event. After another win, in February of 2017, he simply avoided any contact with the ring girl. He literally ran away from her and even asked her not to come close. In the end, he agreed to take a photo, but this time with his hands far away and his body stiff, showing that he had understood how serious the problem was. After the turbulent period, Park continued his career outside Road FC and signed with One Championship, where he put together a streak of wins and rebuilt his image inside the cage. This case is the kind of situation that makes everyone jump out of their seats, but not because of a strike, and yes, because of the referee's delay. The fight was on fire, the two fighters mixing strength and technique until one of them managed to lock in a perfect hold. You know that moment when the guy is so trapped that he cannot do anything else? That is exactly what happened. The fighter on top had already realized that the opponent had gone out. That classic quiet technical knockout without a dramatic feint, without a fall to the floor. But the referee seemed to be on another planet, maybe looking from the wrong angle, maybe waiting for a movement that would never come. But the fact is that he did not notice that the other guy was completely out.
Oh, now George has his head free. No, he's not. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's out.
Then came the surreal moment. The fighter himself had to point it out. He let go of the opponent, pointed, called the referee, and basically said with his eyes, "Man, look here, the guy is out." Only then did the ref snap out of it, come closer, check on the fallen fighter, and finally confirm the obvious. The fight ended right there and the winner was announced. It was a relief because nobody wants to see a fighter taking unnecessary blows when he is already out of the fight. And of course, the moment went viral. It is not every day that an athlete has to remind the referee that someone has already been knocked out. This episode is still remembered today as one of the most controversial moments in Floyd Mayweather's career. The fight was against Victor Ortiz, a world title bout, and everything was relatively normal until the 4th round, when Ortiz decided to do something completely out of line. In the middle of an exchange, he threw an intentional headbutt at Mayweather, right in front of the referee. The official stopped everything immediately and took a point from Ortiz, as the rules say. But then came the bizarre part. Ortiz, trying to apologize, hugged Mayweather in the center of the ring, trying to show some humanity. But when they separated, Ortiz still had his guard down, kind of switched off, maybe thinking that the fight would only resume when the referee said something. That was when Mayweather showed why he is one of the most dangerous men in boxing. He landed 2 shots, a jab and a straight right, and sent Ortiz to the canvas. A lot of people were outraged, saying it was a dirty move, while others reminded everyone of the sport's basic rule: protect yourself at all times.
Ortiz tries the sportsmanship. Mayweather makes him pay. What a rookie mistake.
And the chaos did not stop there. After the fight, there was that historic moment with HBO commentator Larry Merchant. Merchant started to question the way the fight ended, and Mayweather lost his patience. He threw several jabs and direct insults, basically saying that the commentator was always picking on him. Merchant did not stay quiet. He replied with that line that became a meme, that if he were 50 years younger, he would go after Mayweather. The result? The fight went down in history not only because of the unexpected knockout, but also because of the microphone drama, a real chaos worthy of being recorded in the boxing world. In an important fencing competition, the tension was sky high. One of the competitors ended up getting hurt and needed to be attended to by the staff. Nothing serious, but enough to get people running to help. Physiotherapist, coach, water, towel, that basic backstage sports rush. Then one of the team members arrived all helpful, carrying a chair for the athlete to sit on and rest while receiving initial care. Great gesture, right? Well, except the story took a funny turn. Before the athlete even used the chair, another guy from the same team, probably tired, just went and sat on it as if he were waiting for the bus. As politely as possible, the guy who brought the chair gave a little tap to get his attention, showing that the chair was for the athlete. Only then did the staff member realize and hop out of the chair quickly so the athlete could sit down. A scene worthy of a comedy movie, and for sure something that made everyone laugh later, even among the team. At the Fame 9 event held in March of 2021, there was a fight that was marked by the contrast between the cocky entrance of one of the fighters and the unexpected outcome of the match. Kamila Zuzia Smogolechka came in full of confidence, walking to the weigh-ins as if she were doing a little dance and provoking and joking face-to-face with her opponent, Kamila Kamiska Wybrantzik, during the promo photos. The crowd watched excited, waiting to see Zuzia's performance, since she already had experience in fights. But when the fight started, the story completely changed. Kamiska showed a lot of preparation and composure, controlling the pace of the match and taking advantage of an opportunity in the 2nd round to finish Zuzia with a rear naked choke. It was a historic victory for Kamiska, who was getting her first win in her MMA career, while Zuzia, even with her experience, ended up being surprised and dominated. The Fame 9 event, part of the famous series of Fame MMA competitions in Poland, is known for putting celebrities, influencers, and sports personalities face to face in the cage, always with huge media impact. In that context, the fight between Zuzia and Kamiska became especially memorable, not only because of the winner's technique, but also because of the clash between Zuzia's super confident entrance and the reality of the fight. A real twist that showed that in MMA, overconfidence and taunting do not always guarantee victory. During one of those classic pre-fight stare-downs, which usually serve to measure confidence and intimidate the opponent, an unusual episode happened that became a topic among fans and the media. Two fighters were face-to-face, eye-to-eye, when one of them decided to taunt in a very unconventional way. He stole a kiss from the other. The unexpected gesture caught the opponent completely off guard and quickly left him visibly angry. The situation almost spun out of control, and people around them had to step in to hold back the irritated fighter, stopping the provocation from turning into a brawl before the fight even started. Meanwhile, the media people and those present at the scene could not hold back their laughter. Photos and videos captured the mix of shock, embarrassment, and amusement that took over the place. In the end, the situation was quickly handled and served more as a funny moment than as a real problem, reminding everyone that stare-downs can be just as unpredictable as the fights themselves. At a fight event, a professional competitor decided to call someone from the audience up to the ring. The clear intention was to show superiority, turn the moment into a spectacle, and get some laughs from the crowd. The mood was one of total confidence from the fighter, who seemed sure he would control the situation easily. But the scene took a completely unexpected turn. As soon as the volunteer stepped into the ring, it became clear that he was not just some unprepared spectator. With precise movements and a confident posture, he took control of the pace. While the professional tried to impose his game, the challenger remained calm and in control, surprising everyone in the venue. The audience, which at first treated the moment as a joke, was quickly overtaken by surprise. The turnaround came decisively. The man from the stands managed to land effective shots and in the end dropped the professional fighter, who could not continue. It was one of those rare moments when the crowd witnesses the unexpected, and the professional fighter gets a lesson that he will certainly never forget. Do not forget to subscribe to watch more videos like this.